silver. I can give you 550 for it here.
And 175.
Something that is solid silver that isn't marked silver. It just has the eagle stamp here, which is a Philadelphia mark for coin silver. No maker's mark, but from the monogram and the style of this particular piece, it probably dates to about 1790. All kinds of amazing things. Silver that spans the globe, basically. What we're going to try and do through a series of these little videos is to educate and inform people about the many different kinds of silver that's available from different countries. Just because it doesn't say sterling doesn't mean it's not silver. The other countries that produce fine quality silver that don't say sterling. It's like a baby feeding bowl. It's got scenes of windmills and horses and wagons and beautiful flowers. Looks like irises. Extremely good quality repoussé work. Has the Dutch silver standard mark with the lion and the number 2, which stands for 833 silver, which means it's 83.3%. Another good example we have here is this most unusual English bowl in its London Makers marks, and its date mark for 1874. Really nice little piece. This is something you have to be kind of careful of because while it is silver, it's unmarked. To be quite truthful, I kind of had to guess when I bought it. It looked right, it felt right, it sounded right. When you take silver and you whack it with your finger like that, if it rings like a brass bell, it's not going to be silver 99 times out of 100. This sounds good, it looks good, and I took a chance. It wasn't very expensive. Was this little cake server that is marked 830S, which is a really good indication that it's Norwegian silver, 83% silver, solid silver, not sterling, but Norwegian. Continental silver standard for Norway was about 83% up until the 1920s. These pieces are really special. These were made by Alfonso Paglia, who, interestingly enough, was a submarine engineer in Italy who didn't like the fascists. The United States brought him over to work on submarines during World War II, and after the war he decided to become a silversmith. That it probably had at one time. But creamers are always useful. People collect creamers. They serve a variety of purposes. They're decorative, they don't take up a lot of room. This particular piece is a really good weight. It's made by the Whiting Manufacturing Company, probably about 1870, 1875. And this little interesting tray, an oval tray, beautiful repoussé open work, wide, with a wooden body, and it's only marked 833 silver, which it's kind of an unusual mark. Actually, it says silver 833. It's stamped on the underside, and there's In 1939, Tiffany and Company, to celebrate the New York World's Fair, came out with a pattern of silverware called the Exposition pattern, which has been given the sort of a popular, also known as, if you will, the tomato pattern, because when you look at it carefully, it looks like a series of tomatoes stacked on top of one another. But it's officially called the Exposition pattern, and this is a really nice solid serving set and a salad bowl with the full set of Tiffany marks on it.
Four is
Yeah. Oh, and also again, this serves as a good example of silver that doesn't say sterling. This is 84 standard, which translates into about 91.5% silver, but the idea behind the marking is that it isn't silver plate. Say sterling. Here's another example of some pieces, unusual pieces. This is actually a hand-hammered spoon made by Galt Brothers of Washington, D.C. that's marked 925 and then 000. It's kind of an arts and crafts turn-of-the-century piece. Unusual marking. Doesn't say sterling, but it is sterling.
sterling.
Right. Another piece we have here is this is a Russian teaspoon. It's also got the 84 standard mark on it. It's got a really nice crest and a crown, which means that it belonged to royalty. And this unusual looking spoon is handmade. It's Chinese silver. It just has a Chinese chop mark on it, with also solid silver. Drive me crazy. This gorgeous piece, this is probably the best find of the whole day. This piece is marked Wooden Hughes, W and H for Wooden Hughes, 900 over 1,000, which was one of the several different ways that in America they mark coin silver, which is a little slightly less standard than sterling, 90% silver instead of 92.5% silver. Another interesting thing we found was this is only one of them. We had a pair of these little salt shakers, salt and pepper shakers. They're Japanese. It's in the form of a folded parasol sitting on two of these little sandals, hallmarked 950 sterling, which actually represents a standard slightly over sterling. Nonetheless, to silver plate, something with which we normally don't deal, but sometimes the form represented by the silver plate is just too good to pass up. This beautiful arts and crafts wine bottle holder, a beautiful French silver plate, arts and crafts hammered wine bottle holder and decanter, sits on the table very nicely, has your wine ready to be poured in an elegant fashion. It is silver plate, but nonetheless very desirable. I've never seen this form in anything but silver plate. Certain things are very, very difficult to find in sterling, if not impossible. And if you want to have them, you've got to settle for silver plate. In this case, well worth a form. Late 18th, early 19th century English candelabra. It's got the removable arm. Even the center cap comes off so you can put 3 candles in it. Sheffield plate, which is a silver overlay on top of copper. Came out about 1740 and was popular up till they invented electroplate in about 1840. Don't want to have on the Sheffield plate is to have them plated over. It's actually a good thing to have a little bit of the copper showing so people realize that they're original Sheffield plate. If you have any questions concerning silver that you have that you're thinking of selling, or if you're thinking of buying silver and you'd like some advice on it, we'd love to hear from you. Visit us at www.silversterling.com and let us know what you think.